Good evening everyone. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing science and technology based current affairs from the date February 6th to February 13th, 2024. Let us get into the news articles one by one. The topic that we are going to discuss now is high altitude pseudo-satellite vehicle. So what is this high altitude pseudo-satellite vehicle? Why is it called pseudo-satellite, and all the other details we must have to understand, and who has developed this? These details are also important. Okay, so yes, the National Aerospace Laboratories, which is located in Bengaluru, has successfully completed the first test of the solar powered pseudo satellite. So it will be solar powered and it is called as pseudo satellite. Let us understand that in a short while, that why it is called as pseudo satellite. Okay, and what is this? What is this high altitude pseudo satellite? It is actually a new age unmanned aerial vehicles. Okay, so it is an unmanned aerial vehicle. So more or less you can assume it like a drone. Okay, next is, what is the purpose of this pseudo satellite vehicle? It is to increase India's surveillance and monitoring capabilities in the border areas. So in India's border areas, to increase the surveillance and the monitoring capabilities, they have introduced this. Okay, next is, though this HAPS, that is high altitude pseudo satellite vehicle, in short called as HAPS, though this HAPS is a still developing technology, it is not a well developed technology, but it is still emerging. Okay, though it is a still developing technology, the successful test flight which has been conducted by India puts India among a very small group of countries currently experimenting with this technology. So only few countries are experimenting with this technology, that is pseudo-satellite vehicle technology. Okay, what else do we have to understand from this particular topic? Their features. Okay, its important features. So this HAPS can fly at an altitudes of 18 to 20 kilometers from the ground level. Okay, and it is almost double the heights which is attained by commercial airplanes. So this 18 to 20 kilometers is double the height which is attained by the commercial airplanes. Next is, it can generate solar power and it can remain in air for months or even years. Okay, thus offering it an advantages of satellite. So this is the reason why it is called as pseudo satellite, like false satellite. Okay, that is because it can generate solar power, and with the help of solar energy it can remain in the air for months and even years, just like the satellites. Okay, so that is the reason why it is called as pseudo satellite. Next is, since this HAPS does not require a rocket to get into space, just like the satellite. Generally satellites need a rocket to get into space, right? But that is not a compulsion here. Okay, so it does not require a rocket to get into space. Thus the cost of such aerial vehicles, unmanned aerial vehicles, will be very less. Okay, so the cost is reduced several times. Okay, it is several times lower than that of satellite launching. Okay, next is, what is the need to create this unmanned aerial vehicle, HAPS? Okay, the need for development of high endurance, high altitude flying instruments arose from the desire to have continuous surveillance of border areas. So continuous surveillance of border area was the need here. Okay, and to detect changes and movements, particularly in the wake of Doklam standoff in the year 2017. Okay, so after the Doklam standoff at the borders of India and China, the need was felt. Okay, next is, these battery powered UAVs, that is unmanned aerial vehicles, can remain in air for a limited period of time, and it can relatively scan smaller areas. Okay, so it can scan smaller areas, but this is not the case with the satellites. So satellites which are placed in the low Earth orbits and which are meant to observe Earth usually move in their orbits and are not watching constantly. So if I have to watch a particular location constantly, then satellites will not be helpful because they keep moving in their orbit. But these unmanned aerial vehicles can perform that operation of watching a particular location constantly. Okay. Next is, are there any other space agencies or countries which is using the same technology? Yes, NASA. Okay, United States NASA has been using solar powered engines for its Pathfinder series of aircraft for a long time. So for a long time they have been using this. Moreover, China, South Korea and United Kingdom are some of the other countries where this development is taking place. I mean development of this technology, and even some private companies are also involved in the development of this HAPS. Even in India, private companies are involved in the development of this high altitude pseudo-satellite vehicles. Now we need to understand what are all the applications. Okay, so these application oriented part will be very useful in your prelims as well as your mains examination. Okay, so HAPS enhances India's strategic capabilities by providing a cost effective and versatile platform for surveillance. Yes, it is cost effective and it increases India's strategic capabilities. Next is, in the light of geopolitical tensions and security challenges, many countries now are facing security challenges and there is a geopolitical tension. So in this light, these pseudo-satellite vehicles can play a crucial role in monitoring border areas and safeguarding the national interest of any particular country. Next is, this apps can be very useful in disaster situations also. So if we have to analyze or monitor, or if we have to detect any disaster situation, then this apps can be very helpful. Moreover, it can even be used to provide mobile communication networks in remote areas. Okay, so in remote areas at the time of disaster, if the communication lines are damaged, then to provide mobile communication to those areas, such apps, that is high altitude pseudo satellite vehicles, can be used. So these are all the basic applications of this particular pseudo satellite vehicle. Okay, so with this we have come to end of this topic. The topic that we are going to discuss now is MXene. What is MXene and why is it in news? Researchers have recently reported the potential use of MXene coatings, okay, that can lighten satellite payloads. So there is a material called MXene, and these MXene coating will be helpful in lightening the satellite payloads, which means it will be of light weight. Okay, so that is what we need to know here. And what these MXene are. MXenes are an emerging class of two-dimensional. So this is important. All these are keywords. Okay, so they are two-dimensional ceramic nanomaterials that were first discovered in the year 2011. Okay, so these are two-dimensional ceramic nanomaterials. Okay. Next is, MXenes uniquely combine metallic conductivity. So what are all the different properties of this MXene? One is it has excellent metallic conductivity, and then it is hydrophilic in nature. Its surface is hydrophilic, and then it is an excellent, it has excellent mechanical properties also. Okay, so it is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means it is water loving. Philic here means loving and hydro is water. So water loving surfaces, which means water will readily get absorbed to the surface of such material. So this is what we need to know, and it also acts like a metal. Thus it has higher electrical conductivity. Moreover, the mechanical property is awesome here. Okay. Next is, what is the structure of this MXene? How does it look? What is it made of? Okay, that is what we need to know. So these are made of a bulk crystal called MAX. So there is a bulk crystal called MAX, and from that only this MXene is made. Okay, So they have a general formula m n plus 1. So it goes like this: m n plus 1 xn tx. Okay, so where m is early transition metal and x is carbon or nitrogen. So m is early transition metal, x is carbon or nitrogen, and T there is a functional group on the surface of the MXene. Okay, we already saw that the MXene surface is hydrophilic in nature. So hydrophilic substances must be there like oxygen, OH group, and then fluoride ions. Okay, next, among its various types, this one is the best example, that is titanium carbide is the most widely used one of the MXenes. Okay, titanium carbide. See the formula here, Ti3C2Tx. Okay, so this is n plus 1 and this is n. So n here is 2 and n plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 1, 3, and titanium. Okay, so titanium carbide. This is how it looks. Okay, these are two-dimensional ceramic nanomaterials. Next is, we need to know the properties of MXene. So these MXene monolayers are predicted to be metallic. We already saw that it has excellent conductivity. The same point we are discussing here, thus it is having excellent electrical conductivity. But there are other MXenes which are there without the surface terminations. We saw, right? M, n plus 1, xn and tx. This will not be there in certain MXene materials. Okay, in such materials, magnetic properties are exhibited. Okay, next is, they have strong light absorption in the visible wavelength, but they are highly reflective to infrared lights. So they are reflective to infrared lights, but then they are having excellent absorption for visible wavelengths. Next is, MXenes are high performance corrosion inhibitors. So they act as corrosion inhibitors, and then some MXene shows a higher antibacterial efficacy also. Okay, so it has antibacterial efficiency towards both gram negative and gram positive bacteria. So it is antibacterial, it is used as corrosion inhibitor, and it can absorb visible wavelength light, and then it is having metallic properties, thus it is having high electrical conductivity. So these are all the properties of this material, that is MXene. Okay, next we need to know where can we use this MXene, that is application of MXene. The first application here is energy storage. So they are used in storing energy. For example, batteries, supercapacitors, and then hydrogen storage. In all these, MXene can be used. Next is electromagnetic shielding. Electromagnetic waves can be shielded with the help of these MXene. Okay, so it can be used in radar absorption, and then it can also be used in 5G communication networks. Okay, and then water purification is also one of the application of this MXene, that it is used as desalination membranes. Okay, moreover they are also used as composite materials. Okay, so it is used as polymer reinforcement and ceramic matrix composites. Okay, so these are all the applications of MXene. Okay, I hope this is clear about MXene. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Ergosphere. What is Ergosphere? It is part of what, and all the other details we must have to understand. And here in this particular topic, we will be discussing in detail about what black hole is and what are all the different regions related to a black hole. Okay, so Ergosphere. Why Ergosphere is in news? Scientists have suggested sending an object into ergosphere of a black hole and allowing it to accelerate there along the black hole's direction of rotation. So black hole will be rotating in a particular direction, and what scientists are suggesting, that we can send an object into the ergosphere of black hole and allow it to accelerate in that region along the direction of the black hole's rotation. Okay, so they are saying this is possible. That is because of unique properties exhibited by this ergosphere. So we need to know what ergosphere is, what black hole is, and all other terms related to black hole. Let us know one by one. So what is ergosphere here? Ergosphere is a region surrounding a rotating black hole. Okay, a rotating black hole is there. The region which is surrounding the rotating black hole is called as ergosphere, where the rotational energy of the black hole is transferred to the surrounding space-time. So the energy is transferred to the surrounding space-time, and then this label ergosphere comes from the word ergon. Ergon in Greek means work. Okay, so it is named as work. That is because it is possible to extract matter and energy from this ergosphere, but not beyond the event horizon. So here at another technical term. What is that? Event horizon. So we need to know what event horizon is. Let us understand that quickly. So ergosphere is the region in between event horizon and stationary limit. Yet another term. Okay. So event horizon, stationary limit. And an ergosphere is shaped like an oblate spheroid. Okay. Or else like a pumpkin. Okay. So it is like a pumpkin around the rotating black hole. Okay. So let us understand the terms. Let us start with what black hole is. What is black hole? It is a place in space where gravity pulls so much that even light cannot get out. So it is a place where the gravity is utmost. Okay, and then even light cannot pull out from, get out from that region. Next is, gravity is so strong in such region, that is because the matter has been squeezed into tiny space. A huge matter was there, but this matter was squeezed into a tiny space. That is the reason why that much of gravity is experienced in black hole, and this can happen when the star is dying. So for a black hole to form, a star must have to die. Okay, so see this, a black hole is formed when a relatively massive star runs out of fuel to fuse. Okay, fusion reaction happens in stars, right? So when they run out of fuel to fuse, then they blow up, leaving its core to implode under its weight. So there will be violent inward motion, that is implode. Okay, implosion. So implode under its own weight to form a black hole. So all this material of the star is squeezed into a tiny space. That is the reason why gravity is so strong here that even light cannot escape that location. Okay, next is, there is something called as singularity. What is singularity? What does this mean? The black hole's gravitational pull emanates from a point at its center called singularity. So singularity is the point where this gravity emanates. Okay, the core point, the center point. Next is event horizon. What is event horizon? It is a sphere around the singularity of a black hole. So singularity is there, the center, and the sphere, the immediate sphere around the singularity is called as it's called as event horizon. So when anything enters this sphere, it cannot escape unless it travels faster than light. But is it possible to travel faster than light? No, it is impossible. Thus, anything that enters this sphere cannot escape. Okay, with sphere, event horizon. Event horizon is the sphere which is around the singularity of a black hole. Next is, what is stationary limit? It is the surface around the outside of the rotating black hole. Okay, so rotating black hole is there, and then the surface outside the rotating black hole is called as stationary limit. So this ergosphere is between event horizon and stationary limit. This is what we need to understand. Okay, so one interesting feature of this ergosphere is that any object or particle entering this region is forced to rotate along the black hole's rotation. This happens. This is very unique. And what does this mean? It means within the ergosphere, it is impossible for an object to remain in a stationary position which is relative to the distant observer. So it is impossible for an object to remain stationary relative to distant observer. So it cannot stay in a particular location, but it is forced to rotate along with the black hole's rotation. Okay, so this is the uniqueness of ergosphere. So this is how it looks. Black hole, what are all the different regions of black hole? One is singularity, the center. Okay, so if this is black hole, this region, the center region, this is where singularity is there. So this is singularity here. Next is event horizon, which is surrounding the singularity. So this is event horizon. This is event horizon. And then the region which is surrounding the event horizon is called as ergosphere. So this must be ergosphere. Okay, so this is ergosphere, event horizon, and then comes singularity. Okay, so for better understanding, this is given. So I hope it is clear with the terms what ergosphere is, what singularity is, what event horizon is, and then stationary limit is. And we all know what black hole is also. Okay, yes. The topic that we are going to discuss now is satellite-based toll collection. So what is this satellite-based toll collection and who has introduced this? Let us understand. Government of India recently reiterated its intention to introduce satellite-based toll collection on highways prior to the implementation of the MCC, that is Model Code of Conduct for the Lok Sabha election. Okay, so here we need to know how is this satellite based toll collection is going to work from science and technology perspective. Okay, so how does it work? So what is this toll collection, satellite based toll collection? It works by GPS method. Okay, earlier radio frequency identification method was used. For example, in FASTag and other things that we are already using now, radio frequency identification method is used to detect the vehicles, but now GPS based toll collection, here GPS will be used. Okay, satellite based. Next is National Highways Authority of India will be implementing this system. Moreover, it will enable vehicles to move freely without the need to stop for toll payments. Okay, so this is the objective here. So how does this satellite based toll collection works? So it will capture the vehicle's registration plate photo and then it will debit the toll amount based on the actual distance which is traveled by the vehicle on that particular highway. Next is every vehicle in this GPS based toll collection system will need an onboard unit which is to be linked to a constellation of satellite. Okay, so there will be an onboard unit like a sticker or something like that, just like we have for FASTag. Okay, so there will be an onboard unit which is linked to a constellation of satellites, and this onboard unit will also connect to a wallet for toll deduction. Okay, next is it will replace the existing radio frequency identification based FASTag system. And what is this FASTag system? It was rolled out in 2016 and then it was made mandatory in India in the year 2021, January 2021. Okay, so this is what we need to know about this particular topic, that is satellite based toll collection method. Okay, so which will be introduced in India very soon, but now it is in trial phase only. Okay, so that you need to know. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Swati portal. What is the Swati portal? Swati is Science for Women, a technology and innovation portal. That is Swati portal. Okay, so they are giving importance to women here. So recently, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India has launched this Swati portal, and then this portal was launched on International Women and Girls in Science Day. International Women and Girls in Science Day. Okay, and this day is celebrated on 11th February. So what is the objective of this portal? It is to create a unified online platform for Indian women and girls in science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine, the STEM fields. Okay, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine. And then it is developed by National Institute of Plant Genome and Research. Okay, so such facts can be very useful in your prelims examination. That this portal was developed by National Institute of Plant Genome and Research. Next is, what is the significance of this initiative of this portal? So it is to scale up efforts to include all Indian women in sciences across career stages, subjects in academy and industry. Okay. Next is, it enable long-term research on equality, diversity and inclusivity in India through reliable statistically significant database. So with the help of statistically significant database, it is going to enable long-term research on equality, diversity and inclusivity in India. Based on that, this will be implemented. Next is, recognizes women as 50% of the vital human resources, and it advocates for their increased role in decision making. So these are all the significance of the portal, the initiative, and then it also emphasizes the importance of science education in enhancing awareness and fostering critical thinking and addressing socio-economic challenges which is faced by women in our country. Okay, so this is the importance and significance of this Swati portal. Okay. The topic that we are going to discuss now is India's first hypervelocity expansion tunnel test facility, also called as Jigardanda, S2 Jigardanda. So what is this hypervelocity expansion tunnel test facility? What is it used for? Let us understand. And who has developed this? Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur, IIT Kanpur, has developed and successfully tested India's first hypervelocity expansion tunnel test facility, making the country one of the few nations with this advanced hypersonic testing capability. So here we know that it is hypersonic testing capability. Okay, hypersonic conditions are simulated here. Okay, so the facility named as S2 or Jigarthanda, it is capable of simulating hypersonic conditions with a flight speed ranging from 3 to 10 kilometers per second. So hypersonic conditions are simulated here. Okay, and it was indigenously designed and developed over 3 years with funding and support from these 3 institutions. What are they? One is Aeronautical Research and Development Board, another is Department of Science and Technology India, and then IIT Kanpur, who has developed and successfully tested this now. Okay, so this is how it looks. The facility, the test facility looks like this. From this only the hypersonic conditions are developed. So what is its significance? So it is capable of simulating the hypersonic conditions. So where can we experience such hypersonic conditions? Okay, where can we encounter such hypersonic conditions? It is encountered during atmospheric entry of vehicles, say rockets and other things, and then asteroid entry. During that also hypersonic conditions are developed. Moreover, scramjet flights and ballistic missiles also develop such hypersonic conditions. So if we are able to simulate this hypersonic condition, then we can better understand this and test these things. Entry of asteroid, scramjet engines, and then ballistic missiles. All these can be tested. Thus, it will be a critical asset for both ISRO and DRDO, Indian Space Research Organization, and then Defense Research and Development Organization of India. And then it will serve as a testing ground for ongoing missions of ISRO as well as DRDO, like Gaganyaan, Reusable Launch Vehicle, RLV, and then hypersonic cruise missiles, thus enabling development of more advanced and reliable aerospace technologies. So these are all the things which we need to know about this, and there we saw that it deals with hypersonic speed. Hypersonic conditions are developed. So what is this hypersonic, and are there any other related terms to it? Yes, hypersonic, supersonic, transonic and subsonic. So what is all this? It is based on Mach number. What Mach number is? Mach number is nothing but the speed of the object divided by the speed of the sound. So in comparison to the speed of the sound, what is the speed of the object that we are going to study? is. Okay, so when we divide these two, we get Mach number. When the Mach number is less than 1, then we call it subsonic, and when the Mach number is equal to 1, which means the speed of the sound and the speed of the object is going to be equal. Okay, in that case we call it transonic. But if it is going to be more than 1, it is called supersonic, and if it is more than 5, then it is called as hypersonic. So when Mach number is more than 5, then it is called as hypersonic, which means the object speed is more than 5 times the speed of the sound. That is what is the understanding here. Okay, so with this we have come to end of this particular topic and the end of today's session. I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. Let us see in the next session. Thank you all.